Hey, this is Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome back to beginning assembly. So here, what you want to do is go ahead and jump into the multiplication mul.asm. So file open mul.asm right there, and do file. And now once you open it, you'll see this. Go file, save as, and call it mulmac.asm. Mulmac.asm. And then now we're going to go ahead and get started in this. Make sure that it's saved. What we're going to learn today is we're going to learn macros. Basically what macros are they're similar to a high-level programming language when you have methods that you could put snippets of code for reuse so you don't have to keep typing things out all the time. And it could also accept parameters inside of assembly as well. So as we go through this, you'll see a lot of the remnants of where high-level programming languages came from. Okay, so first things first, you want to name your macro, and then you want this macro identifier. Then you want the parameter that it takes in. So we're going to use a string, and you'll see me use it rather than explaining. You'll see me use it here in a second. And there we're using it, we're putting that macro, that parameter that we're sending it, we're loading that effective address, and we're going to outprint it. So you see what we have in here. We have those three commands for outprinting a message. And then finally at the end of each macro you just do end m, which means end macro. Read ch macro a value. Move AH 1H. So we're basically we're reading in a character, and then so now it's going to be in A low, and what we want to do is we want to subtract from A low 0. We want to strip the ASCII, and then we're going to move into a value the AL. Now what you see here is very, very interesting. We are passing it a address to a variable. So here, for example, we would pass it x, and then here we're storing the AL into the x that we send. Or we could send any variable, x, y, d, z, q, 52, or whatever. Then I don't know if you would have a variable called 52, but you could send whatever you want in there, as it is an address, and it will be able to find it. Very, very cool. Okay, where are we at? And then the begin macro, probably not as helpful because you only do it once. But, you know, it's there. And then finally, our final macro. That macro at the end, again, not as helpful, but it works. In macro. Okay, so now what we're basically going to do is we're going to go in here and find where we need those macros. So here you can see that we need the begin macro here. So we're going to go ahead and delete this stuff. Then you see next that we're outputting a string. So print string, and what string do we want? We want the MSG, the first message. So we're going to type in MSG as the parameter. It's going to go into that macro and input that as the parameter and output that for us, just using one line. And then here we want read ch, which is the name up here, read ch, and then we have the parameter. So what is a parameter for this? We see x here, that we want to move x in there. So let's go ahead and move x. So I guess you could write it all from scratch just like this and then go back and add macros to it to make it nice and clean and make better code reuse. Or you could do it from the start if you know. Well, actually, I'll tell you a few tips here in a second. Print str, and then we're going to want to do message again. You see it here. And then you see coming up is another read character. And if we look down farther, we see the Y. So we want to do a Y. And we see here another print string. We want MSG2, you see it there. And then finally here, what you could also do, which I'm not going to do in this program, but you could do as well, is you could, well actually first let's change this, because remember we turned it back to divide. So let's set it back up to be multiply for us. So here we're moving the x into the a. So you could do a macro to do multiplication. Just do exactly what you see here. So what you could do is you could do 2 parameters. So here you have value, and then you say a2 just say a value 2 or whatever. So now we can multiply the x and the y together, but we'll do that in a later one. I just want to get you guys started, and you see these are separated by a comma. So you could do that as well, but right now we're going to leave that separate. But that would be probably a big thing that you would want to have in there, because that's probably used, I mean, depending on your program, that's probably used quite a bit. And here it's outputting that character, and then here you see our final macro is the exit macro. And there we want our final exit macro. And everything seems to be right. So let's go back through. We have the begin macro, then we're printing the string message. We're telling them to input a value, and then we're taking that value, saving it. Then we're printing out another value, then we're saving that value. And then we're printing out that the product is, and then we're doing the multiplication. And we're outputting that number. The print character, not print string. So yeah, you could also do a print string there by doing a 2H instead of a 9H. Yeah. So let's go ahead and make sure that this guy saves correctly, and let's go ahead and give it a try. See if I got everything right. Masm, mul, mac. So those that's fine there, and then we're gonna link mul mac, and then we're gonna launch it. 3, 3. 2 and a 3, 6. So it works perfectly. It works just like we had before, but of course we have it more compressed and better to read code. So let's go ahead and open that back up and let me talk a little bit more about it. So we're going to learn how to do external programs that aren't inside here, so it doesn't clutter up what you have going on. But what you could do is you could have all of your macros saved inside of a notepad and pasted in there, but I would highly recommend that we have an external one, sort of like a toolkit. A lot of assembly programmers would have a toolkit of all their macros inside of a file, and just import in the file into your program in order to be able to link against it, and use your macros from an external source so it doesn't clutter up your workspace. And it would be very custom, as they're your own macros, your own names, this and that, and it would really help with your writing and this and stuff. But we're going to venture into that in a later tutorial. Alright, so this has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials. I'd like to thank you for watching my tutorial about assembly macros. If you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it in this series and other series as well. If you have any questions, email me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, and thanks for watching. Peace.